Hi everyone, welcome back to SimCity 4. Last time we built this beautiful city that you see here, and we called it Greenwood. Today, I was thinking, Greenwood is a nice city, but there's something about it that doesn't sit right with me. You see, the city is very grid-like, almost too grid-like. There isn't a lot of diversity amongst the directions that the streets and roads go on. I wanted to give the city a more natural feeling, something more organic, you know? In this lower corner here, you see I tried experimenting a little bit with making the roads and avenues a bit less grid-like. And I think it came out pretty well. Up here we see I demolished the industrial zone, and I redid the streets to give it a more random look to it. I even left a little sign to remind myself. Changes like those are the blueprint that I'm going to use to redevelop this city, and I think the best place to start would be right about here. These farms you see are good, but they're very small, and they leave a lot of open space. So I ended up demolishing them. I also removed a lot of the residential to make more room for the farms. And then just bulldozed some of these roads right here. From here I was thinking I would extend the avenue to about maybe there, and then bring it up like so. Give it a more zigzaggy feel to it. Maybe a little more. Yeah, that's good. And then bring it over like so. And then I would do the same thing over here. Get rid of the farms and buildings. Once that's done, I would bring the avenue all the way down in a diagonal line, like that, and then have it connect to the south. On second thought, the road over there was very bumpy. I think I ought to smooth it out a bit. From there, I would connect to the south. And now we've got plenty of room to add more farms. So I'm gonna add a road here for easier access. I'm gonna smooth this area out a bit because nobody likes growing plants on uneven surfaces. How about I just cut ahead to when I've smoothed everything out? Alright, now that it's smoothed out to my liking, time to zone some farmland. Rather than going with traditional squares, I decided to mix things up by adding a variety of rectangles. I put one there right along the avenue, and then de-zoned the side that I wasn't going to use. This is also where I decided I would add a state fair. You unlock the state fair by getting a lot of agriculture in your city, which I obviously did. Sims love the state fair. And then I added a second road and connected it to the first one. I'm just going to fill up the rest of this area with agriculture zones. I'll cut ahead to when I finish. Well, that area of farmland is looking way better than it was before. I decided not to add any farmland underneath the second road because the terrain was too steep. It looks like I left a big area unzoned. I'll probably add more residential zones there in a little bit. For now, I'm just going to remove that little bit and replace it with an avenue. Get rid of that unnecessary intersection. Next, I'm going to move over to this upper corner. As you can see, it's very grid-like, which isn't normally what you'd find in a suburban area. So I'm going to destroy all these poor innocent Sims homes. Remove all the buildings and stuff. Remove this avenue here since nobody's going to drive on it. Do a little more smoothing. Now the Sims can live on more even terrain. Now what I did here was I added a grid of streets, and now I'm gonna remove random bits and pieces to give it a more random feeling to it. Remove that one. Remove that one. We don't need that one. And if we do need to re-add some streets, we can easily do that as well. Now that the streets have been redone, let's rezone some residential areas. While I'm doing this, I should probably say, I'm really happy for all the feedback I got on my first SimCity video. I'm glad a lot of you enjoyed it. I decided that going forward I decide to slow down the pacing. It's difficult to show everything about building a city from the ground up in just 3 minutes. So I decided I'll take it one step at a time, and the videos will be longer, but hey, that means more content for you to enjoy, right? So let me know if you like this style of editing more. And then I remembered to re-add a school since I destroyed the last one in the neighborhood. And I'll add a couple of parks as well to increase the desirability. And look, the Sims are happy to move back in. And just like that, we've recreated a beautiful suburban neighborhood. Let's fill in that spot right there. And this time it's a lot less grid-like and looks a lot more like something you'd see in real life. I redid this section because I wanted the houses to face the street rather than the road. I think the Sims would much rather face a quieter, less busy street than a noisy, busy road. You may have noticed I destroyed this section of town right here. That's because I wanted to give the avenue a little more personality. Again, I wanted to avoid the grid-like shape and instead make it more diagonal. I really wanted to expand upon the idea. So now instead of a pure grid, we've got a diagonal avenue with a road coming off of it that leads to the neighborhood. Honestly, this already looks much better than it had before. I tried moving the landfill to someplace else, but given how nearly impossible it is to move the piles of trash, I decided it was more effort than it was worth. So I decided to leave the landfill where it was. I don't think I mentioned building a landfill in my last episode, but you'll definitely want to have a landfill in your cities, unless you want the streets to be overflowing with trash. Anyway, the final step for this episode is to remove the industry section right here and replace it with farms. Like I said, I wanted Greenwood to be more focused on agriculture. But don't worry, I'll rezone the industry areas that I destroyed in a later episode. Alright, I think I'll wrap things up here. Next time we'll continue redeveloping Greenwood and make it feel more like a city and less like a grid. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care!